Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we are going to learn how to secure your ASP.NET Core Web APIs using JWT Token Authentication. So we'll start by explaining what JWT is, why it is important, and then we'll build a real working project step by step. And by the end, you'll understand how Authorize tag works at the controller and action level and how to protect your API smartly. Alright. So the first thing, what is JWT? So JWT stands for JSON Web Token, and it is a secure, compact and self-contained way to transmit identity between client and server. So why we use JWT in APIs? Basically, it is stateless authentication. It means we don't need to store the token on our server session, and it is very scalable and secure, and it is very easy to pass identity and the claims. Another important topic is it protects your API by validating the signature, which is a secret key, and the issuer and the audience, and also you can set a particular expiry of this token. And if you see, JWT token is a collection of three things. Basically, it is a header, payload, and signature. So there are three parts: header, payload, and signature, and we can club all of them to create a JWT token. And header and payload, we use base64 URL, and using hash 256 algorithm, we can create a complete JWT token which we'll use to secure our APIs. Alright. Now, so let's start to create a project. So I have already opened the Visual Studio instance. So create a new project. ASP.NET Core Web API. If you want, if this link is not coming over here, so you can search from this search bar. Next, and JWT demo. This is the application name, and let's say this is the path. Next, and uncheck it. This will make a little easier project for you. Create. So this will create a complete project, a brand new project for you to create the JWT authentication. And we'll also see, once it completes this installation, what is the default file and folder structure of a new web API project. If you see, the project has been created, and this is the default page. And if you see this solution explorer, so we have connected services, dependencies, properties, controllers. And if I expand the controller, we have a weather forecast controller, and we have appsettings.json, and we have program.cs, and we have a model. All right. Now, the first thing is we have to add, if I open this app settings.json, so the first thing is we need to create a object for JWT's details. So let's give the property name as JWT settings. So this is the key name, and within this we need to use some properties like key, issuer, audience, and duration. So the first thing is key, second thing will be issuer, and third will be audience, and last will be duration. Duration in minutes. All right. So let's say if you want to give a particular limit of expiration limit to a token, so you can set it. Let's say I'm giving 30, so this will keep your token alive for 30 minutes. All right. If you want, you can also change it to hours, days, minutes, seconds. All right. So that's up to you and up to your project requirement. So now this key, what is this key? This key is a secret string used to sign the JWT and keep it secure. So let me quickly give it. So I'm giving just for this demo purpose, but make sure you will create a strong key using online tools, or if you have your own logic, so you can create a secure a key. So this is my super secure JWT key 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and some signs. Now what is this issuer? So issuer is the system that issues the token. For the example, if you see, this project is the issuer of this token, means this is issuing the token to your client. All right, so give it a name, JWT demo client. Now audience, what is the audience? Audience means who will consume this token, like your React app or your Angular app, okay, the front end project. So who is going to receive this token and consume it? So JWT, let's say auth users. All right, so we have created our first tab. We have added a JWT settings object within this appsettings.json, and within this JWT settings key, we have added further properties, key, issuer, audience, and duration in minutes. All right. So this is the part one. Now, second thing is we also need to create a model called JWT settings. So within this project, let's add a new folder, models, and within this model, let's add a class. So add class. You can also go from this route, new item, and then you have to select the class, but select the class directly. Now give it a name, JWT settings. We need to create same properties as we have given in this key. So first, so there's a shortcut. If you want, you can also use, you can create like public string key, right? But there is a shortcut, just type prop and then hit tab. So it will create a complete property for you, and you can change the data type, and then you can again change the names. So issuer, let me quickly copy and paste. So appsettings.json, copy. So this will be the audience, and last one is duration in minutes. Save. So we have added our JWT settings model also in our project. Now we need to create one more model in our project, so called users. So we'll create a model. So add class user login, and within this, so prop string user name and password. So we have two properties. So we'll use this model to pass the values from the Postman, and it will receive, and it will pass this to the AuthController. Let me save this. Save. Now, so we have also added our another model, that is user login. Now if you see, we have a program.cs. So basically this file is the starting point of our application. So whenever we run this particular project, so it will come to this file on the first level, and it executes the code as per the logic. All right. So we have to add our code over here. So after this, so first we need to inject our JWT model, which we just created, this one. So builder dot services dot configure, and within this we have to give our JWT settings model, and now we need to consume our app settings. So builder dot configuration dot get section, and within this we have to pass our name. So our name is JWT settings. So copy from this and paste it over here. So now we have successfully injected our JWT settings in this. We have added, and using this settings we can get these values based on these keys. So this is the value, this is the this is the key, this is the value. So this is key pair value object. Now we have added our JWT model over here. Now we need to add our authentication. So before that we have to add a namespace. So right click on your project, manage NuGet packages, and browse JWT, type JWT bearer. So this is the namespace which we need to install. Make sure we have, if you notice while creating a project, the latest version was 9. Let me quickly verify. So right click on your properties. Okay, .NET 8 is there. So make sure you will choose your corresponding namespace version. So 8, install. So I accept. So this will install our package. If you see this uninstall button is there, means we have installed the package. Let's close this. Now coming back to our program.cs. So we have added our model, we have injected our model. Now we need to add our authentication and we need to add our JWT logic over here. So builder dot services dot add authentication, and that will be a bearer token dot add JWT. If you see, JWT is automatically coming because we have added the namespace. So again, bearer, capital B, and options. Now we'll add some options over here. So first we need to get the JWT. So JWT settings is equal to, again, builder.configuration.get section. So this is the name, JWT settings dot get JWT settings. Okay, so now what it will do, it will go to our app settings and take the details and put it within, bind with this JWT model. Now options dot token validation parameters. So now we need to provide our parameters, which is nothing but we will pass the properties and the value from our JWT object from appsettings.json. So new token parameters. So the first one is we need to give validate issuer true, then validate audience as well as true. Validate audience is equal to true, and also validate lifetime. Validate and validate issuer signing key. Yes, we need a signing key. Validate signing key, and now valid issuer. So valid issuer is coming from, so JWT settings dot issuer. Similarly, valid audience is equal to JWT dot audience, and finally we need to add issuer signing key. So that will be a secure key. So new symmetric security key, and within that we need to pass our JWT key. So encoding dot utf 8 dot get bytes, and here we need to pass the key. So JWT settings dot key. So we are done. Finally, builder dot services dot add authorization. Services dot add authorization. Sorry, not authentication, authorization. So we have injected our JWT token details in program.cs. Now, if you see, we have configured JWT and register authentication middleware. So basically, this is nothing but the JWT middleware, and this token, this one, token validation parameters. Basically, this ensures only valid token are accepted. Means if a user is authorized, means he has a valid access on your system, then he can only, get the valid tokens, otherwise not. Now, if you see here, we have this app.use authorization. Now, just before this, so this is again a mistake which people usually do. So we need to use add authentication. So if you put this code below authorization, so you will not be, you will be able to generate the token, but you will be not able to authorize your APIs, right? So make sure you put this authentication before this authorization. All right. So save. Let's try to build this project and see if there is any error exception. So it is building. No, build succeed. Perfect. Now, so we have added our namespace, we have added our app settings, we have added our JWT middleware in our program.cs. So next step is, let's try to create a controller. So right click, add controller, API controller, and here let's simply give auth controller add. So here we'll add logic to generate the token. All right. So the first thing is we need to get the configuration. So private read only I configuration, I configuration, and we need to create a constructor. So shortcut is CTOR and then tab. It will create your constructor automatically. So simply copy this, remove the underscore, and configuration is equal to underscore configuration is equal to underscore configuration. So we have added our constructor also. So now let's try to create the first API. So that will be a post API, and also give route login public I action result login, login, and in the parameters, so we'll pass this username and password from the UI. So from body, and we already have a model user login. So user login. Now within this, so as of now, I'm using the default, or you can say the static uh, details. So if user login dot username is equal admin, and user login dot password admin, then where token is equal to blank, and return okay. token is equal to token. So if user is valid, it will return a token. Otherwise, it will return, let's say, unauthorized. Okay. Now let's create a private method to generate the token. So private string generate token. So this method will generate the token. So where JWT settings. So first we need to get the settings is equal to underscore configuration dot get section. Similarly, go to our program.cs, copy this name, settings, paste it over here, dot get, and here we need to pass our model JWT settings. Sorry, JWT settings. So we have our details now. Now we need to create a claim. So where claims is equal to new. So here first new claim. So claim types dot name. So here we'll give name as admin. Okay, and let's create another claim also. So new claim, claim types dot name, not name, role. So we can also create uh, the token based on the user as well as the user role. So we have created the claims based on the name and the role. As of now, this is static, but in the second part of this video, what I'll do is I'll replace this particular call with a real database API call. So whenever we pass these details from the UI, so it will go to a database using a stored procedure and validates the user. All right. So we don't need these static values. So that will come in the next part. So after this, so here let me quickly replace this token. Okay. Now, so we have created the claim. Now we need to create some properties. So first, the key equal new symmetric security key. And similarly to our program.cs, so encoding. So we need to add a namespace using system.text dot UTF-8 and get bytes. And here we need to pass our key. So from where it will come, JWT settings dot key. Okay, key was capital. Now let's also create another property, creds. So new signing credentials. So first parameter will pass as key, which we just got, and that will be a hash 256 based on the 256 algorithm. So security algorithm as CSHA 256. So basically it will use this 256 algorithm and it will create the credentials. Now let's use the expires. So we have a particular expiration in our JWT settings. If you see over here, duration in minutes. So here we need to pass the expiration time. So let's make it expires. So date time dot now dot add minutes, and that will come JWT settings dot duration in minutes. Okay, so okay, so add minutes needs the double, so I have added convert.to double, or if you want you can also pass the static value like this. Okay, that will also work, but we have already defined here, so no need to put the static value, so just change it to like this. So we have created our key, cred and expiration. Now let's create the object for token. So where token is equal to new JWT security token, and it will take first issuer JWT settings, JWT settings dot issuer. Second will be audience, so that will be JWT settings dot audience. Third will be claims, and we have already created claims. And expires, we have already created expires. Last will be credentials, so signing credentials creds. Okay, so we have created our token logic as well. Now finally return new JWT security token handler, that's the method, and write token and pass the token which we created. Save. So basically if you see JWT settings, we are getting from the appsettings.json. We have created the claims based on the user, we have created key, credentials, expire, and then we have added a token, and finally we are returning it. So we have created our login API as well as we have created our generate token. Now, so this is the auth controller. So now time to add one more controller and added some API so that, so what we are going to do is we'll create two controllers. One controller where we'll use the authorize, tag on the controller level, meaning whatever API we will create within that controller, it will apply all the APIs, and we'll create a new controller, second controller, and we'll use two methods. So we will use authenticate tag on one API, meaning on the API levels, not the controller level. All right. So this is how you can, manage your authorization level. So let's quickly create a new controller called product controller. So controller, add controller, API empty. So here change it to product, save. So within this we need to create some APIs. So before that, first use authorize tag over here. So now if you see whatever APIs we will write within this controller, so that authorize tag will be applicable to all the APIs, right? Now let's quickly add one more controller over here. API, let's say employee controller, and here we'll use some APIs. So we are not going to use authenticate authorize tag over here. All right. So now within this product controller, quickly create one HTTP get, and so this will be, let's say, all public by action result get all, return. Okay, and within this, let's say a new array, test1, okay, test v1, 3, 2. So this is our all API. Save. Let's create one more. Let's quickly copy this. Let's say count, get count, remove this and let's give 100. Okay, so if you see, using this authorize tag, it will be applicable on both the APIs, right? Now if I go to employee controller, let's quickly create, let me copy paste both of them, or like this one, copy, paste, paste. So HTTP, let's make it public, public, and return this is public for all. And let's make it private, get public data, and this will be get private data. Get private data and get public data. Copy, paste. This is private. Save. Now let's make this as authorized. Save. So now we have two controllers, one employee where we have one API with this authorized tag, another one is not. So basically to access this endpoint we don't need any token, but if you see this product controller, so we have used the authorized tag on the controller level, meaning all the APIs are authorized and we need a valid token to access all of them. All right. So from the code point of view, we have done everything. We have implemented all the logic and the code which we need to create a JWT token authentication. So now let's try to build the project. So build succeeded. There is no error and exception. So let's try to run it and we'll see a Swagger UI and we'll try to, authenticate a user. So first, so this is the auth API. Try it out. And if you see here, authentication controller, so we are using our static details. So using admin, as I mentioned, as of now we are using static, but in the second part of this video I'll add the AD.NET part within the same project and we'll create a stored procedure and we'll try to authenticate user from the database, not the static one. So execute. So if you see, it has created a token. So let's try to copy this and okay, collapse this one. If you see this one, so we have the employee controller. So this is a public API. So try it out, execute. So we are getting the response. And if I try to execute this private API, so execute, you see we are not getting response, but we are getting 401 error unauthorized. So how we can access this one? So we have already got the token. So go to the Postman. If you don't have, you need to download it and you need to create a new request. So using this authorization parameter, so bearer token, go back to this token API. Let's copy this token. Make sure you don't include these commas. You just need the value. So paste it over here. And if you want, you can also see at the beginning and the starting. Now we need a endpoint. So this is our endpoint. Just copy this and paste and send. Sorry, not this one. We need to copy this one, the private one. This is the get. So paste, send. See, this is private, but on Swagger, if you try to execute, we are getting unauthorized. Similarly, if I come to product, so in product, if you notice, let's go to the product. So all APIs are authorized because we are using authorized tag on the controller level. So if I let's say get all, try it out, execute, unauthorized. Similarly, let's copy this endpoint, go to Postman and paste, send. See, we are getting the list. Perfect. So this is how you can create your JWT token for your web API project. And I have one more announcement. So if you are looking for personal training, personal coaching one-on-one, so I do provide the coaching on full stack development, where I do provide a coaching on and training on ASP.NET Core, SQL Server, and React.js. So if you are looking for full stack development career and if you need any help, so you can talk to me. You can contact with me on my WhatsApp, on my Instagram. If you want, you can go to my YouTube channel, and there you can find my direct WhatsApp number. So you can find that contact number and ping me. We can talk to each other over WhatsApp or over call, and we can discuss your requirement. Another one is, if you are looking for any technical help, let's say you're working in your project in college, or you are working in any company and you are facing any difficulties using ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET MVC, React.js, or your JavaScript, SQL, MySQL, and you need any help, and you need any technical or paid help, so you can again contact with me, and we can discuss your requirement, basically project requirements, and we can help each other. All right, so this is about today's video. In next part, what we'll do is we'll create a ADO.NET part within the same project, and we'll use a real database call just to authenticate the user. All right, so thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.